and welcome to my channel, and today we are doing a laundromat. So this is a community lot for your area, and since laundromats are not actually an actual lot in The Sims 4, I did label it as kind of a generic lot, and it's got some interesting lot traits. I was figuring maybe it's kind of like in a more rundown part of a neighborhood. So maybe it's got some gremlins in there, and since it is kind of in a more, how would I say it, a more rundown part of the neighborhood, it doesn't quite stay as clean as it should. So it's also got the filthy trait, and I know it's got one more trait. I'm trying to remember what it is. I don't know. I can't remember right at this exact second. It is up on the gallery if you would like to see it. It is called Sims N Suds. And if you can't find it by the name, of course, I am on there as well. You can just search my username, Jazmine'sSim. Really easy to find me there. But anyway, I kind of wanted to. I've been playing around with this idea for a while of doing a laundromat in The Sims 4. Just because it's like. It feels like a place that we should actually have. So I end up putting those things up top, so this way it kind of looks like they have a place for steam to go, and of course an air conditioner, so in case it gets too hot with all the dryers running. The walls don't end up staying this height because I wanted to be able to have counters on one wall. I actually played around with the idea of having the washers and dryers on the walls, but I changed my mind at the last second when I actually had gotten the washers and dryers. So once I had started putting them in, I decided against it and I decided to do something else. So anyway, so I decided to also extend that front enclave area. So it's kind of more like a covered porch. Just because I wanted to have a 2 square or a 3 square door, but I ended up finding that, or actually I wanted a 1 square door, but they didn't have any of those. All they had was 2 and 3 squares. So I said, okay, screw it, never mind. We'll just do it this way. So I was trying to pick out something that maybe it looked a little bit run down, but I thought maybe somebody's trying to fix it up. Maybe it's trying to look a little bit nicer. I mean, it is in a more run down part of the neighborhood. Maybe it's trying to be like a community area for everybody to come and get together, do their laundry together, maybe get to know their neighbors and that kind of stuff, and know everybody who lives around. But I mean, it is what it is. But I really ended up liking the way that I ended up doing this here. So it's a little bit more bright and colorful than a lot of my usual builds. I do like using a lot of blacks and grays and whites and neutrals. And then of course reds because I love the color red. I don't normally end up doing a lot of purples or yellows or any of those other colors. So we end up putting in some laundry carts in case, your sim wants to try and trek it out to the cars that don't exist. Little spiteful and bitter about it. But, I was trying to use a lot of the stuff from the new Laundry Day pack. I mean, I know it's not really that new, but it's really new to me. I just got it a few days ago. I got it when I got paid, so this way I made sure I had the money for it. So I was trying to add in like some side storage here, so this way it looked a little bit nicer, and maybe there's places for people to put their laundry detergent and other stuff like that. So you'll find that I did place lots of bottles of detergent everywhere, so this way it's always easy to find something. And of course, there is the more eco-friendly version outdoors, where it has a wash bucket with the washboard in it and everything. And then, of course, the clotheslines. Oh, and funny story. It's a short story, I promise. So I was at work I'd posted about like a month ago. No, it probably wasn't even that long ago. Probably like 2 weeks ago. And I work retail, in case you don't know. And so I got called to answer the phone for a customer. Because I kind of work on the more general merchandise side of the store. So I was getting asked, and they called and they asked if we carry washboards. And I'm like, what? I just sat there for a second. I'm like, does she mean like a laundry washboard? Or is there something else I'm like missing or something? And all she said was, like in the olden days. And I was like, yep, she means a laundry washboard. And I said, I'm sorry, ma'am. No, we don't have that. You have a wonderful day. I just, I didn't know people asked about that anymore. I mean, I guess I really shouldn't be that surprised, but anyway. So we do end up putting an arcade machine in here, ended up putting a little TV in here. There's a little, I guess it's not really a kitchen area, but it's got like some counter spaces where you can fold your laundry. There's also going to be a sink there. And of course, there's also a place for some refreshments, so in case you get hungry while you're there. Or maybe we'll pretend that one of them has like laundry detergent packs and fabric softener and all that kind of good stuff. And I know that if you if you're familiar with the arcade machine, you might notice that it's a little small. I ended up discovering after I was done doing this entire video and after I started to do the tour on the place, I ended up discovering that it's sticking through the wall. It is fixed. It will be fixed on the gallery, so that's not something you're going to have to worry about. Anyway, so, like I said, there's lots of bottles of laundry detergent everywhere, and I went on a hunt, I think, because you're seeing this now at like 6 times sped up. I think I ended up searching for like a good 5 minutes trying to find the folded shirts. I kept looking and looking and looking, and I couldn't find them to save my life. And then finally, I looked, and they were right there, and I was like, oh, yes! I was so excited. So there they are. They're different colored shirts. I figured in case somebody's folding their laundry up there, they would have maybe a few piles of different clothing. At least I know that's what I did whenever I had to go to a laundromat. When I lived with my mom for a short while, she had a laundromat on the end of her apartment, and there was also another place I lived in that also had an actual laundry room. And it was kind of like this. It was kind of set up like an actual laundromat where there was lots of counters. There was the vending machines. I mean, it literally looked like a laundromat that they just pulled up off the street and just set right inside this complex. And there was one room for like 30 apartments. Actually, no, it was probably more than that. I'd probably say probably more like 50 apartments. It it was insane because if you caught it at the wrong time, every single washer and every single dryer was in use. It freaking sucked. And then they had like half the machines took a card and the other half took coin, and I'm like, what? So I ended up getting one of their little dispensed cards and ended up putting money onto that. And then I find out the little chip things because that's what was in it. Those things are so sensitive. You even scratch that thing wrong and it doesn't want to work anymore. It says no. So I ended up losing one of my cards that way. I was carrying my keys with me down there and it ended up scratching it and I was like and it didn't work in any of the machines. I was so mad. I was livid. So I ended up the good news is the company was really nice about it. They ended up sending me a check for $7 whole because that's what was left on the card. Um, and then I ended up having to get another card anyway. So, I mean, the good news is when I lived there, I only lived there for like 6 months. When I lived with my mom, I lived there for about the same amount of time. Because prior to buying my house, that's where I stayed. So, I mean, I was very thankful she had the room and she was able to take me because otherwise I probably would have had to move really far out from where I really wanted to be. So, but anyway, not that any of that actually matters. So, like I said, I was trying to make this place really bright and have a lot of colors. Make it, like I said, kind of more like a community area. So there's these nice, bright, colorful curtains. I thought about changing the actual color of the curtains, but I ended up changing my mind. I was like, no, the swatches aren't really that good. So I ended up adding a few paintings on the wall, maybe some posters, just so this way it kind of felt like a lot of people had been here. Maybe they left their mark. Maybe they left something there. Of course, there's an ironing board on there in case they need it. And then of course we go into some landscaping. So if you find yourself on have a house that is on a foundation and you want to have plants like around the edges, a great way to do this, and I ended up finding this out from James from the Sim Supply, is that if you take the house all the way down to the ground for a foundation, and then place an item that would overlap, just so long as the majority of the item is actually on the ground, when you raise it back up, it will stay down. And nothing in your house will be affected either. Your stairs will still be there and everything. So I thought that was really cool. I learned that and I'm like, this is a really cool new trick. So I end up putting in all these nice, cute little fence lights. This way, there's plenty of light outside, in case you end up being here kind of late at night. Um, I mean, I know most of the laundromats, especially like where I live, they say like the last wash is at like 9 o'clock, but still at 9 o'clock, especially like in the fall or the winter, that gets dark. It gets dark at like 6. So anyway, so I ended up putting some plants around the outside. Maybe made it look kind of like more, there was like a little bit more overgrown hedges on the side. But anyway, so we're going to get right on into the tour here in just a second. Oh yeah, and I ended up placing a chess table outside too. I forgot all about it. Anyway, so here we are. We're going to do the tour so you can kind of see all those plants here around the outside of the house. Or outside of the house, outside the laundromat. And then, of course, there's some more plants there along with the AC unit. The chairs that are available outside to sit on, especially in this beautiful sunrise, because I did this early in the morning. And of course, it is play tested with my sim. You'll eventually end up seeing him. But I wanted to make sure I utilized a lot of the items from the pack. So, of course, there is those potted plants from it. And then you end up seeing all those little cute decorations I ended up putting up there on all those shelving. Of course, all the washers and dryers. Put a little bit of clothing there underneath one of them as if like maybe somebody accidentally dumped a sock or something. Here is the restroom for the laundromat. So in case you gotta go while you're here, it's right there. It's available. And then you kind of see that there is kind of like some countertops to fold. There is, of course, the arcade machine, the TV area, and then we end up going out back and you get to see all the lovely area out back. So, of course, like I said, there's those clotheslines if your Sim's a little bit more eco-conscious. And then, of course, they can always use the wash buckets there as well. There is a hamper here, so this way you can kind of maybe have your sim change your clothes, and maybe then they could use the washing machines and gain all those awesome moodlets from it. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified when I upload new videos. And thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.